Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name's Rebecca of Artistrebeccals, and this is the channel where we have fun with art. Today I'm going to be finishing the last page in my handmade sketchbook, and one of them. Remember, I am learning since last year. I am teaching myself how to bookbind, and this is a chain stitch. It's not perfect, but the book has not fallen apart. In chain stitch, you can see our long chains up the spine. So, the last page is here, and I thought, because it is basic, cheapo drawing paper, it does hold up to some water. I'm going to use the water-soluble kid pens, and we'll see what we can come up with. Let's go. Okay, guys, I've got a bit of a wider water brush this time, a flat, and a mug, I don't know if you can see it on camera, full of a selection of fibre tip, well, I call them, you have to forgive me, felt tip pens. That when I'm referring to felt tip pens, they are the range of children's pens that you would give to them. When I say fibre tip pens, I'd be referring to pens like Tombow or something, and I would never give children Tombows. But children do use these, and they're classed as felt tip pens in the United Kingdom, and that's what's sticking with me. It helps to identify the difference. So, I think I'm going to still carry on, and I'm going to do a butterfly like I did on the last page. And that will, in pink this time, that will signify the end. Just random, it doesn't have to be perfect and equal and all the rest of it. We just do what we like. And kind of squiggle, you know, really does not have to be perfect. But I am just going around like that because you see the water will add to it. Now, these two are fine, they're thin tips, and it's going to be a bit harder to make the ink move with it, simply because, so I'm just going very lightly over the surface. Don't dig it in, just very gently stroke the surface. If you press hard with that, it means that the marks are going to stay, and so that might happen with the pink, but you can see here it is dissolving. It's just, that's why I always recommend to you to get the broad, fat, chunky ones, because you know you might want the texture. It does indeed add to the butterfly texture that you would get in real life, but the pink, because I was drawing it straight with a pen and not a pencil, I'll have to keep going over this to get rid of the lines I actually don't want. But it all can be done. And can you see, as it dries, those lines that we want to get rid of are slowly fading, which means when we add colour on top, when it's dry, those lines are going to go. Well, you certainly won't see them as much. I have to say, it's a lot of fun using the felt tip pens because, like, it doesn't matter in a cheapo sketchbook. As long as it's drawing paper and you can do the pen and wash, you know, technique, the paper works. The paper's so important. I was amazed that this actually could be the Le Franc Bourgeois, could never pronounce it properly, but it's a very cheap French company of art supplies called Le Franc Bourgeois. And their paper that was, I think, A5 size was about €2.99. It was so cheap for a pack of 50 sheets. So I would fold it up. So this obviously isn't it, but it works for pen and wash. And so you can use the felt tips in there. So if you made your sketchbook using that paper and you had just one of these and a water brush, you can very cheaply have a nice mini, no stress way of creating art. And I think that's lovely. You can keep it with you all the time. So I'm going to go in with the blue now, just checking for it dry. We're still a little bit wet. We'll give it a chance to dry a bit more because you don't want to spoil it by rushing. But ultimately, what we're going to do is leave those faint lines in and have it as part of the pattern. And I'm going to go in here with the dark blue. And we'll let that set in a bit. Then get the brush and really soak. Make sure it's nice and wet, a good amount of water, and massage it into that blue. That's what we do. It's massage it in very gently. You don't dig at the paper, just massage it in. And can you see? All of the mark has basically gone. And again, we're going to do the same here. Massage the brush. Squeeze the water so you have a bit of a puddle and massage that puddle into the colour in both directions. You just want to let that water seep in to try and get as much of that colour as possible that you're moving around and pushing it into the paper surface. And again, we'll do it up here. Now this one, probably I put it down first. It's had a chance to dry a bit longer. But don't worry, because when it's dry, you can go over it again. And I'm just cleaning the brush at the bottom of the page. I'm just taking that bit of puddle off and just put it around the page. It just helps decorate the page a bit. by doing that. And take this bit off and decorate here. There we are. And we're going to let that all dry now, because it's soaking. I think while that dries, I'm going to go in. I don't think I have a thicker pink. I used it all up. I'm quite low. Oh, no, I haven't. I've got here this fat pink. So what we're going to do, oh, but it's darker. That's why I don't use it as much. It's not as vibrant. It looks more ready to me. Anyway, apparently it's pink. And I'm swapping, oh dear, oops, a bit too much water there. Doing a different brush now to around, and we're just going crazy with the water now. Let's just drown it. The more water, the better. But you are going to have to really let this dry. It will take on a completely different look when it is dry. And we are now. Okay, guys, so now we're going to do the sketchbook tour. So I did this with coloured pencil, just practicing some blending techniques. And then this is Inktense. I was practicing using, because you may have seen on my channel, I've done a kind of review of a tin of watercolour collection of 12 items from Derwent. And in there is some blocks, sticks of Inktense as well as pencils. So I was testing them here. And the same here for there, but then the rest is standard pencil. I think what I was doing actually was doing, well, here for example, I think I was doing watercolour or maybe Inktense and then going over the top with regular pencil for detail. The same here, this is Inktense, doing the sticks and real, you know, textury looseness. And again, this is Inktense, but I was getting this kind of, I get it on paper sometimes, it's kind of, I don't know, like a calcium powdery feel or texture, or it looks kind of calciumy. I can't really describe it, but kind of, it looks powdery to me. And it was a reaction with the Inktense, the blocks and the paper. I don't know what the blocks are made up of, but most paper cellulose seems to have a calcium buffing thing in it. And again, I think these were also Inktense, the pencils, as you can see the texture. And again, here and here. Getting used to how they operate. And I like that this texture is left behind. It doesn't all wash away. This is where I was getting the that kind of calcium-y thing. Now, I have a feeling I did use the chunkiest block I've seen of the Derwent, what is it? It's toned graphite in olive green. And I was going over the top of that. And here, I think it's still Inktense. I can kind of see the texture here. And again, I think these are all both the same. though I have a feeling I've done a mixture here. This pink looks like it's acrylic gouache. This is definitely Inktense. But I've been playing around with this Inktense again, the colours that I had. Over here, I'm sure it is Inktense. There's this texture, but I'm not too sure what it is that I've used regularly, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what do I use most often in this sketchbook, because it's not my Holbein watercolours, I know for sure it's not that. So I'm definitely putting it down to the Inktense. Now here, I was just scribbling and experimenting. To me, that actually looks like a snail now. I didn't fully develop. I've been watching Art with Heather, the YouTube channel, and she does a lot of intuitive art. And so I've been kind of using sketchbooks that I don't particularly like or get on with. If the paper's not so good, I will do more intuitive style art, because it also can help encourage more inspiration. So then I've had a go at doing thumbnails with just a red ballpoint pen. This is someone's microphone. I was watching a YouTube channel and they had this kind of microphone, and I thought I would sketch it while I was watching their video. And more thumbnails now, ballpoint pen on the left here, and I'm having a go at trying to do blending with the pen. I'm always fascinated with artists that can do real photorealistic, that's the word, using just a ballpoint pen. Now over here, this brown in the thumbnails is my Holbein refillable ink pen that you've seen on my channel, and it's got my homemade watercolour ink in it. Again, this is the same pen. The ink is by Holbein. It's their watercolour paint that I've turned into an ink. This was a bit of an intuitive art. You can see there's a bit of a character with the quiff hairstyle. And this I've dated from March. So it's the 26th of March, 2025. This, the more I'm looking at it, is looking a bit hedgehoggy, dinosaur-y. You've got a bit of a big, facey snout, the body, and then all this hair kind of spikes. Almost a bit rhinoceros-y as well. And then patterns. This was on the 26th of March, the page on the right. Again, more patterns. Then a scapigliata. Now I was using a felt tip pen. You'll call it a fibre tip pen, but it's water-based kids pen. And I call them felt tips. And then this was just ballpoint pen, random scribbling. Now this is back to, I think, Neo colours. Yeah, it could be a lot more Neo colours. So further back in the sketchbook. Now I'm still going to say it's Inktense, that, but a few could actually, like here, be the Neo colours. So I use that quite often as well. The Neo Colour 2, which are the water-soluble wax crayons by Caran d'Ache. And I've mixed ballpoint pen for these characters. And for the light, I've got fluorescent ballpoint pen. These are just backgrounds that I didn't do anything with. More scapigliatas. Now this was fun. You've seen a video of this. I was using the cap of a ballpoint pen and a bottle of ink to draw these birds and to practice just random mark making. And then this is the Holbein watercolours I did on the 16th of April, 2025, just out of my head. And then on the same day these both pages were created, I was practicing with ballpoint pen, also with felt tip pen to see how it would blend, and it didn't. And then with my homemade ink, that doesn't, it's the ink, anything watery sinks into the paper too quickly. So you need watercolor to sit on the top in order to blend it. Then I had a go at doing blending with graphite with a blending stump. Then I did an apple using my Holbein watercolors. Again, that was the 16th. This apple in grey was the 16th of April. And I used my Art Graph water-soluble graphite that's in a small little tin. And then this was on the 17th of April, but this big one on the right was the 16th of April. And again, I'm using my Holbein watercolors. But I think I started this one off on the right, the big one, using a Neocolor. Then I did a background, didn't know what to put on it, so I did a scapigliata, and I think it's a fun effect. And that was on the 17th of April. This is also the 17th, and I just did thumbnails of apples using Holbein watercolors. Again, this is Holbein watercolors on the 17th, both of these. And I just left it very simple, purple and blue. And then the apple. And I had fun doing the shadow. Needed to be a little darker though. And then I've used ballpoint pen. These are the 17th. I think the page, yes, leaked through this. It hadn't. But this is blue ballpoint pen. Both of them. And then this, I can't remember what the date was when we did this, but this is, I recorded it in April. It's the week of Easter that it's recorded, but you're not seeing it till later. And so this is felt tip pens. But you can see, once it's fully dried, those marks have almost faded away, except for here. And that is the end of that, guys. The end of one of the homemade sketchbooks. So we're getting quite a collection now, and I'm getting through my handmade sketchbooks. I haven't got the confidence to use good paper yet to make them, because when they're this size and the paper is folded, it's quite difficult to keep it all together when you're Coptic stitching, because you have to take one sheet at a time and you have to attach it to your back cover first. And it can get really, really tricky. So basically I do hard work like that in the colder months, because in the summery months it's too hot for me to do bookbinding. I get very hot and bothered doing it because it's straining. So with that said, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video and the sketchbook tour bonus, and I'm going to catch you really soon on the next video. Bye-bye.